Bam. Blah. Buh. Oh. Yeah. Ooh. In your wrong. Yeah, cunt. Yeah, cunt. Ow. What it does, what is poppin', what is crackin' lackin', everybody? My name is Sweet Justice C.
Oh wow.
Like that?
I'm just a regular nose dog, mate. I'm out here.
Fair enough.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm just down drinking wine.
Ooh.
That is me today.
Fancy Dahn.
Is that Is that ice in your
Fancy.
wine glass, bro?
Yeah, it looks kind of.
That is ice in my wine glass because the wine wasn't cold enough. So
Your cousin
I
is going
put
to
wine in it. I'm so
murder
sorry.
you. Don't apologize.
There's
Tell
gonna
her,
be something,
tell her to come for me. I'm ready. I'm
drastically
fucking
happening.
ready.
Oh,
Tell her I'm
goodness, you're
fucking
asking
ready.
for a
I've been
punch.
waiting for this fucking day. I'm
Tell you
ready.
what.
Fucking tell you what, both of you guys. Jesus Christ. Well, welcome to episode 119 of Bad Habits Podcast in the building. I just wanted to say beforehand, this was the only weed drink. You know, obviously every single episode, I don't always talk about it, but every episode I drink a THC beverage. This is the only one I had in the fridge, and it's 10 milligrams. And last time I had a 10 milligram one, I got like liters. So I'm going to be liters.
Let's go.
I ate dinner first, so hopefully it'll balance it out a little bit because we're recording later than normal tonight. But cherry cola, though, it's very nice.
That's nice.
Cherry cola's
Well,
nice.
I wish
Cherry cola's
you
lit.
well.
Yeah, you know, like I fuck with it. Ooh, shit, I wasn't supposed to.
Nice.
So I'm doing this thing with the, I think I said last time, like a functional doctor, and one of the things is to go on.
Oh,
did
yeah.
I talk about that last time? I can't remember.
Yeah, you told us.
So the first part is supposed to do on this thing called, it's like elimination diet, and it's called like a histamine diet. And the idea is that you like cut all this stuff out. All of the things that you keep are things that are known not to fuck with, like allergies and blah, blah, blah. So because I was like, yo, fam, like that shit is like a lot. They were, she's like, all right, how about you do no sugar, no dairy, no fermented stuff. The fermented stuff is super easy. The dairy's been pretty sweet. Sugar, I just realized this has 25 grams of sugar in this drink alone. Like, so I shouldn't be doing this. But like, what I'm learning is when you're looking, and Dan, you probably learnt this when you did the thing earlier this year, but like, there's sugar in everything. Like even the pasta
The
sauce.
sugar in everything. Like everything. Every
So, like,
single thing is crazy.
So what do you do? Like how does one actually cut sugar out of their diet, like legitimately without making any mistakes? Because obviously I've avoided obvious things like donuts and cookies and like, you know, even I'm reading the labels on everything, and some things will say if it's like, I don't know, fruit juice or some shit, it'll say like 10 grams of sugar, but like obviously if it's orange juice, there's sugars in oranges. Then it'll say added sugars, and then it'll be like another 20 grams, so they added more sugar to the existing fruit. So then I'm like, well, I can't have that. You can have things if it's naturally occurring, like I guess what's that, fructose I think it's called, or glucose, one of the two, I don't know. But everything, bro, like it's just what do you do?
In my head, it seems very much impossible to do zero sugar. Like we technically done zero sugar, but we were still allowed a certain amount. So we had our sugar for the day was dark chocolate and dates. That was it.
Okay.
And that's not a lot of sugar, but it's kind of like if we didn't have that, I just don't really know what wouldn't have sugar. Like literally everything has sugar. It's a joke. It's crazy. So I don't know. Like even the sugar alternatives aren't good for you, and even like every single fruit juice is always gonna have added sugar. So I don't really know what you can do regarding that. Like I don't know. I have no clue.
I guess you just gotta like make, say if you I don't know, like make everything. Like if you're having vegetables, just have fucking vegetables. Like
you have to make everything. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
It's a lot, man. It's very funny. I'm just like I didn't think of it until I'd already cracked it and started sipping. I'm like, oh fuck. Obviously I'm drinking beer too, and that has sugar in it. But anyway, it's interesting.
Yeah, but sugar alcohols isn't as bad
as like
the
whatever
sugar alcohols
added bullshit's in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even we found like a local we're trying to replicate. Obviously, you try and replicate everything, all the cool shit that you liked, about Montreal, and try to find it all here. And we found, that gnocchi place on Fairmount.
Yeah, the $5 one. Yeah, it's
Yep,
like
yep.
2 minutes from my house.
Correct. And that particular place, we used to always buy the pasta sauce from there. Me and you went up there before. So like, we found a place here that's sort of similar-ish on Lock Street here. So they got like, they make fresh in-house pasta. So like, we buy the spaghetti style shit, just like made fresh.
Nice.
It's glorious. And buy their pasta sauce. So they have like, 6 different ones that they make, not in like the glass jars like the other ones. It's a little more, I don't know, a nicer operation, I guess. This is cool still. But they got like, a white sauce, a spicy one, a regular one. This one had like little bits of sausage and stuff in it. And even then, it had brown sugar in it. And Tiff didn't realize until tonight we're about to make it. She's like, fuck, I just see this one has brown sugar in it. I'm like, and this is like not a processed thing. Well, not a mass marketed thing. You can only buy it in small batches, not even in a jar, just in like a little plastic Chinese takeout style container.
Yeah.
Like, and even that has sugar in it. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, you just
No, everything though. Even when I wanted to like look for a recipe just to marinate chicken, almost every single one had sugars. Like, it is crazy. It's
Super
crazy.
wild.
So
one of the things that was interesting was on the diet list, it said there's like a yes column and a no column. So on the no column under sugars, it was like everything, and under yes column, it had honey. So like maybe that honey is like a naturally occurring.
Yeah. Honey's a good substitute.
Sweetener.
It's a good substitute.
Yeah, and I guess it's like just better for you. It's not manipulated. It's literally from a creature type of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just a side note.
Good thing. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's catch up. What's cracking, boys? Dan.
Good.
What's happening? What's news? What's going on? You still being treacherous?
I'm. You know me. Well. No. Come on. Well, I've also made a revelation. Now I'm back home. This is the first time I've been home. I am not ready to own a dog. I'm not ready.
Okay. Tell me
as
why.
much as I thought I wanted one, it's so difficult. I cannot express to you how hard it is to own a dog. And I had this dog for 1 week, and I loved this dog. The dog was amazing. Like he was so well behaved, but it's like it was just so difficult. Like knowing, the reason why I struggled so much, for example, with stuff like work, I could not get into a flow where I was just like, I'm in the zone now. I'm just working. I can't, because within an hour I'm gonna have to take this guy out, go for a pee, or go for fucking shit outside. Like every single hour I'm gonna have to do it. Something's disrupting it. I'm trying to balance that with making sure I eat and making sure I work, and then making sure I try and go to the gym, which I didn't go to the gym at all. So it's just like, fuck it, like, and it's way too much time, and it affects so much of my lifestyle to a point where I'm not willing to change my lifestyle at my age to accommodate for a puppy. Obviously, it's probably like a certain amount of time where it will probably be fine, and you'll get old enough to be able to, do a bunch of shit that I don't need to necessarily monitor and stuff. But it's like, at this point, I'm not ready for that. And I thought I was. I was begging Mel for a dog. I was like, I will do. I don't care if we get it now or in Toronto. Like, I will get a dog now. I don't care. I want a dog, but like, I can't do it. I literally can't. It's so hard.
I'm not surprised to hear that, but it's cool that you had the experience to kind of like figure it out on your own. Like, and it's a lot. You're not. I also don't think you're being ridiculous in the slightest. I think you're being absolutely realistic as fuck, and actually very like mature about it, because I know how much you love dogs, and I know you really do want one. But bro, at your age, fuck off. Nosh wouldn't have either. There's no way either of us would have done that exactly. It only hit if I didn't have Tiff. I mean, I think you need a partner for something like Nosh with Oris with the tortoise. It's a lot more chill, I guess, because you don't have to do the things. Like, you have to physically do, like, Dan, what you're talking about is take them out. We have the deck here, so you got to, like, you can just open the back door and you can shit on the porch and it's okay because it's winter and it'll pick it up and it's all good. But, like, the walks, and if you can't do the walks because it's -20 and it's fucking a snowstorm and all this bullshit, like, it's constant. Even we cleaned the house today, and, like, he's trying to sweep. He tries to eat the broom while you're sweeping. Or, like, you mop the floor, and like he's gonna try and lick the floor everywhere, so you have to put him up on the couch or on the bed or whatever the fuck to stop interfering with that. Every time you get dressed, he eats your socks. He tries to bite your pants. Like, it's cute, but it's like Tiffle. I'd always joke. Tiff calls it a burden. Like, he's just such a burden. And I was like, you can't call him a burden. I'm like, yeah, but he is. He's a good burden. But like, that's what kids are. Kids are burdens, right? So I get it.
No, you're right. It's not like bad to call him a burden, but the dog it is a burden to your life. Like, it is. As much as you love the dog, like it is like having to constantly like. I'm looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds to see if this dog's eating like plants, eating like paper off the floor, plastic, anything. We had to move the plants on top of the kitchen, like where he literally cannot like grab the plant and eat to the leaves or eat the dirt. And it was just like,
because they're all toxic.
Bruv,
They're all toxic.
Well, apparently, I went to a puppy class because I also had to do that, and they said that letting them eat like a leaf, for example, if it's like something organic, or like leaves or mud, it's not that deep. Like, you don't need to necessarily have to fish out of their mouth.
No, it
like,
depends which plant.
Okay. Like, for what she told us, she was like, even if the dogs have sticks in their mouths, it's not that deep. It's organic. Like, you can just leave it. She did say plastic and shit. Yeah, you need to fish out of their mouths and shit. And I'm just like, bro, this is so long. Like, having to hold the dog to force his mouth open, like, fish out paper and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, bro, this
in
is
his
just...
shit. There's like
oh my god,
we don't let him swallow plastic. You're right. He eats like, say, you get those just like a rope, and they chew the rope apart. And the good thing about that, it's kind of like floss. But then he'll eat the strings. So in his shit, it's always like we always got to look in his shit to see what he ate. And like, you have those little...
It's like carbon fiber. It's like
basically,
woven.
yeah, because the shit will break apart, but it'll stick together because it's fucking... And me and Tiff are sitting here, like, one of us is holding it, like, like looking at this piece of feces.
Woven poop.
And the other thing that's funny as well, like, he'll have... I don't know, Dan, I'm saying this because, Dan, you might relate to this one. He had a... you know what a Kong is? You guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
So like the little thing where you stuff food in it. So he has those things, and there's and similar type ones, and he chews like the edges of those things and then eats it. And they're usually like black, blue, pink, something like that. So like you'll see these speckles in his shit because he's eating the rubbery thing around it. Like,
at least he's passing it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's passing it. Thank fuck, or it's stuck in his gut. And then right over here, just behind the camera, there's what we call the graveyard, and that's all of his toys. It's like this huge basket that's overflowed with all the toys we had to confiscate. Like, Dan, you gave him a reindeer for Christmas. Within 10 minutes, he had to take it off him. He already ripped its ears open, its antlers open, and then it has that synthetic cotton in it, and he's eating the synthetic cotton. So then we tried to tear the cotton out, and then he could just eat the cloth, but then he managed to get into the head now. So there's this one other thing we have that's like a rope ball, and it had a head and hands and feet. Now it's only got one leg left, this thing, whatever it was, I don't remember, because he'd ruined every single part. Then as soon as he rips a hole in it, we're like, all right, now we're going to take the stuffing out and then give it back to him, and then now he's choking on the rope part. It's fuck. Never, ever, ever ending. So you're right. Keep going. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's never ending, and it's like having to clean up his piss as well when he accidentally pisses. Like, to be fair to this dog, he's very communicative, and he will tell you when he needs to go to the toilet. He'll tell you. He'll bark at you. He'll cry. He'll do whatever. But in the last few days, I think he got super comfortable with me, and he just didn't bark when he needed to pee. So he just peed, and then he just looked back at me like,
like, what's up?
You
cleaning this bitch?
Yeah, like, literally like that. And I'm like, bro. And I don't get mad at him because it's like you're like, what, 10 weeks, and I'm not gonna be mad at you because it's completely understandable why your bladder's like.
Oh, it's a 10-week-old puppy.
10-week-old, like.
Oh, that's when we got Barrington. Like, oh, dude. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was.
It was a lot, like. Yeah, it was 10 weeks, and he was just pissing.
To be real fair, though, that's a lot to ask a non-dog owner to take care of. Just, I know that I'm sure you probably jumped at it when you were asked to do it, but
oh yeah,
that's a lot, dude. Like you, Brad. I don't know if you met Barrington at 10 weeks. You probably met him pretty soon.
My name is Notion, actually, mate.
Sorry, Notion. I pulled a Dan and threw your govy in there.
Wow.
Sorry, dog. I know. Boo.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Boo me.
Baby dog.
Sorry, baby Notion. Dan, you met Barrington when we got him. We got him at 10 weeks, and that time period, looking back at, it's a whole thing. They got the sharp puppy teeth. They're not potty trained, so they just piss and shit everywhere. You do have to take them out every hour in case they need to go. Why does this keep changing the fucking Go on my face, dildo. There you go. So like,
There you go.
it's like it's so fucking much to ask you to deal with.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It was home. I can believe it, and I was just like, this dog's so nice. Though. It is nice, and sometimes he's a bit nippy and bites a little bit, but it's like it doesn't hurt. Like,
No,
and I think he recognizes where it's like he's not meant to bite, because there are times where he's like trying to bite, and I put my hand in his mouth, and he stops. He's like, okay, this is not what I'm meant to be doing. So he's like, he's good in that sense. But yeah, it's a lot. It was just too much, and I'm glad that I've come to the realization and didn't come to this realization when I got a dog, you know, because I would have happily. I told Mel, look, if the dog was 5Gs, I'd put half. I don't care. Like I'd do it. Like I'd do it right now. I honestly didn't care. But nah, I can't do that, man. I'll wait until I'm a bit older. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine moving to Toronto and have to look after a dog like that. No way.
It'd be harder would it be harder in Toronto? I don't know. Maybe not, but it's
I don't
probably
know.
just the expense. The food and stuff is expensive,
Yeah.
and then they go through a toy. I'm looking at how much money is sitting in that basket when we buy things, and maybe a toy is $15-$20. He'll play with it for 10 minutes. He'll rip a hole in it, then the toy's dead. So then you got $20 down the drain. Like constantly. Or you buy food and you just won't fucking eat it. So I imagine that's what human children are probably similar-ish to that, right? Like
Probably.
I think they're all picky and shit.
Little fucks, you know what
Probably.
I mean?
Right?
FTK, you know what I mean? Fuck the kids, feel me?
But not literally at all in any shape or form.
Not
No,
no,
as in, like,
endorse that.
but
No, yeah,
fuck
thanks
them
for back.
kids.
Yeah,
Like-
that's no. As in, like, get fucked, mate. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
can't.
Just
Yeah,
clarifying for people who might be confused.
Yeah. Very, very good move. Thank
We
you.
knew what you meant.
Yeah, a sensible person would know what I meant, but
The world
the
is
dumb cunts
insensible.
we need to cover it for, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The dumb country is outlandish, as they say.
Yeah, sweet.
Okay, so Dan, you had a very important epiphany in this last week, which is
Epiphany, yes.
which is very life affirming for you, and I'm happy that you got to that. Now
Exactly.
you know you just need to rent dogs. You know.
Exactly. I can look after your dog. Listen, I will look after your dog anytime. I just cannot own a dog, which is fine.
Which is
Which is
completely
not an issue.
okay, and that's it. You're
Exactly.
way too young for that responsibility. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
What else been cracking? What else is news? Anything else you want to talk about?
Anything else I want to talk about? Arsenal played one of the best games I've ever seen.
I fucking knew it.
We went 1-0 down in 11 seconds. 11 seconds of the game, we went 1-0 down. We were like, what the fuck? We were playing like the worst team in the league. At our home ground, we were playing the worst team. We were losing in 11 seconds. We're like, okay, this is weird. And then second half comes, we're 2-0 down. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're playing so much better. They just kept on scoring. Like, not even lucky. Like, it was just like they were taking their chances. And I was like, cool, whatever. And then second half progresses, 60th minute out of 90 minutes. It was 2-1. We scored. Cool. And we made a sub. And then another goal. Cool, 2-2. We have 20 minutes left. And then it got to the 90th minute. And the referee was like, okay, we'll give you 6 minutes at a time. Because of all the stoppages, the injuries, time wasted. We'll give you 6 minutes. And the 6 minutes had passed and we got a corner. And this is what happened. The corner went in, headed out. One of our young players took the ball, chested it on his left foot, top corner, straight in. And we won the game, 3-2 from 2-0 down. It was the best game of my life. It was incredible. It was so good. Thank you.
Wow.
I had to
So you
troll
were
everyone on Instagram.
Screaming, running around the lounge room with your all of your gear out, dong flopping. Is that right?
I literally was. It was so good. Like, I couldn't believe it. And yeah, if you saw my Insta stories, that was the reason why they were so weird or trolly. You know, if you didn't understand them.
I saw.
But,
I didn't really
it was
understand
good.
it all. But I feel like it was insider and sports
Weird,
things.
man.
Yeah,
So you're a weird man.
It was all.
You know what? He's an immigrant, so.
You know. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I'm not from these ends. I'm not from these ends. And what else happened? The greatest TV show of all time is back. Attack on Titan has now finally come back after a year. So it's the final season. So I need to watch the episode. I haven't watched the episode yet, but there's that too.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the main things. That's my life right now.
I like that. I like it a lot. I like it. That's a great update. Nosh, what is cracking? What's news? What's happening?
Oh fuck, mate, a whole bunch. It's been a week. Mans is tired, but Mans is good. Fuck, what do I got to tell you? Sick shit. The Notion MTB is just consistently growing, so I'm happy with the YouTube stuff. It's great. I'm literally going to pass 70K tonight, so that's cool.
Views, you mean, right?
Overall, yeah, 70K views.
That's awesome.
Total, and yeah. So if you haven't subscribed yet, at Notion MTB on YouTube, if you like scenic mountain bike content and my fun narration and comedy, then give it a fucking bill, mate.
Check out some of Toronto.
Serene trails. Yeah, mate.
They are serene. So when you post your reels, is there a reason you're not doing full vertical video and you're keeping them horizontal? Is it because they don't cut well if you had to chop the middle of the video down because your handlebars are like across the whole screen?
Yeah, basically I'm just using my regular footage and then YouTube cuts it that thin.
Okay, so
I have no control over that.
You don't cut. Well, you could, like what we do for Bad Habits here. So like say Dan will take the edit and whoever's talking in the clip, you just zoom right in Final Cut. And you actually like make the screen like I think it's 1920 by 1080, and not sideways, but the vertical way, and you just zoom right in on that part. So you actually like chop it to that specific part. So you could do it potentially, but you would just chop off the ends of the handlebars. It'd be interesting.
They might even not be that chopped off, but I think you should do that. You should do it. It'll definitely be worth it.
I use iMovie because my Final Cut can't run on my computer because it's a piece of dog shit. Okay. So
there have to be a way. We can talk about it after. We can talk about it after.
It'll still work. You'll still be able to do it.
Yeah. Tiff mentioned it to me the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, I forgot to ask him about that." Yeah.
You don't even have to edit it. You can put it in Canva and just set as background in a 1080 by 1920 frame in a vertical vertical and Canva. Just put it as set as background, and it will just do it. Yeah.
My video was a mess. Yeah, okay, I'll give that a shot. We'll talk later. Yeah. All right. Sweet.
Yeah, we'll talk later. It was just something else to test since you're in like big time testing mode with like and you're very perceptive about your insights. Like you're actually doing this like textbook perfect. Because every time I talk to you, you're like, "Hey, I noticed this, this, and this." So you're like paying attention. You're doing it like really, really well. So like, I wanted to mention this to you since you're being so thoughtful with every element. I figured that like it might be worth a test for you.
Yeah, sweet. Definitely gonna see. Yeah, because I noticed some videos are just so zoomed in. Also, the camera angle sometimes on certain trails, like my shit gets wiggled a bit. But I also the angle was a bit too low because I need to set it when I'm in my what some cunts call the attack position or whatever. Like just when you're in that neutral position, ready to go down something crazy. I need to angle it for that. So sometimes I get it wrong. So then when the shorts thing on YouTube just zooms right in on the fucking bike and there's not much of a front angle. So I can't change that. So yeah,
depends on the video.
When I'm making my long form shit in iMovie, that's cool. I'll do that. Then I'll chop up the reels and then, so I'll have to figure out how to do the framing in that because I haven't even.
Between Dan and I, we can show you, man. There's no stress. I was even thinking when you film them this summer, when you start doing the rides again, would you probably need to like spin your GoPro so that it records it vertical for the short?
There's this thing
you're doing it for short specifically.
Yeah, I think we texted about this. Like, there's this thing you can buy that attaches onto like like on a normal GoPro, the battery clip is on one side, and you can remove it, and then you put this new thing on it. Some cunt who 3D printed a thing on, so it replaces the battery clip, but it also seconds as a vertical mount. So you use your existing chest harness or whatever attachment, and then it makes it, excuse me, it makes it so you can have it, vertical. So it's recording that way. So when you edit it, it doesn't. So I haven't tried that yet, but also I found one on Amazon for like fucking $10 instead of buying this other joint for like 55.
It'd be good.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. So that'll be cool. I'll give that a go. But the thing is, I have to record in the landscape way because that's how my long form videos are, and then I cut the reels from that. So the only thing I could think of is maybe getting one of those 360 cameras, but they're
you have to
a lot,
it,
and No, well, they usually the best one I've found is a YouTuber that has a Insta360, which is a different camera brand than GoPro. Also very good. They're like the industry leader number 2. They're trying to get some GoPro market share, but they're doing a better job. The last few years, they've got some good shit. Everything's 4K now. And the 360 cameras, they're very light and they're thin and they can kind of like go on a chin mount. But I don't wear a full face helmet all the time because I'm not living in fucking BC. I don't have super steep shit that I'm going to die on every 2 seconds. I'm riding single track trails that are undulating. So it's not usually like full face helmet, gnarly stuff requirements. So that's why I have a chest mount and I have like a chest harness and the camera's in between my tits. And
Gotcha.
I just do the angle at like a 45 or so, and then sometimes I get the angle wrong. So that's why sometimes the shorts are shit because it zooms in no matter what I do, and you can't choose the cover or the thumbnail for a short yet because YouTube hasn't done that. So
Yeah, which is why.
sometimes it predicts a good one, and sometimes that can literally make or break some of the views I get because I'll get like a cool 5K on one video, or because they chose the right snippet, which was enough for somebody to click on the thumbnail in their little whatever, right? So yeah. Also,
Okay.
title and stuff and et cetera matters. But yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
You'd have
So
to like
YouTube's
record
going good.
4 shorts. Okay, but anyway, we can talk all about that later. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
dope.
So
Good
if
shit,
I was
man.
recording for shorts, what I ideally will do is buy a second GoPro and have one of
One
those
vertical,
mounts that has like an L shape, and you can have one this way and one that way, and I can just have both running. I'll have one named Reels and I'll have one named whatever.
like YouTube. That's sick.
I have
That
two
would
GoPros.
be
Yeah.
a very dedicated thing to do. I think that's actually pretty fucking cool.
Well, that's going to be the goal because I'm going to get monetized as soon as possible, and that'll be literally what I'll do. I'll just buy like the next GoPro I buy, which will be like maybe a 12 by the time that fucking comes out. They're at 11 now, I think.
Okay.
So by the time the 12 comes out, I'll get that for the main video for the long form, which would probably be like fucking 5K or some sick shit, maybe 8K or something. Dreaming, but then my one that I've got now, the GoPro 9, can be the vertical one, so that could be my shorts, which is more than enough because my
smart.
videos that are long form now have just started coming out as full 4K. So, yeah, everything's getting up to scratch for quality because I didn't know, there was options on my fucking GoPro. I thought it just came ready to go off the tits, but I didn't put it in until a few rides in. So
Gotcha.
my footage from the start was kind of like 1080 until, I don't know, a month ago.
Okay. Well, all that done now, so now it's about to get fire this summer.
It's crispy ting. Yep.
Know the vibes. Okay, sick.
So yeah, just been doing that, making beats, doing lots of collaborations. So yeah, doing an album with Stu, Living Poetry, Poe,
Which is
from
very, very
Oakland,
sick.
California. Just super sick. Yeah, so we've been, had something in the works for a while. He chose a bunch of beats of mine, and he's been recording a couple. So I got some stems. I've been mixing them, and got one song finished and the second one well underway. And it's encouraging to get some new shit from the dope MC on your beat. So that was cool to work on a bit of that the last week.
And it's your
And
first
also,
full. Sorry, I just want to talk about that just for a quick second because it's very cool. It's your first full-length project that you've produced 100%. This is your first like working with an artist that isn't
produce an album, like where
you've like produced it for him. And obviously, I did an album with Poe that was produced by someone else, but you mixed it. So we've known Poe since 2008. We've known him a long time. Old friend of both of ours. Both worked with him a bunch, and so he is strongly connected in the Bay Area. So he's based in Oakland, and he knows he's close personal friends with a lot of like Bay Area like rappers and all that shit because he just came up out there. So he knows a lot of cats. So hopefully they'll we're having nice little chats. I'm enjoying working on this. I just wanted to say this publicly because we can talk about it. There's no name for it yet or anything, but like it's been really cool because I'm representing the TMF side of like the business sort of end, but also Poe's my friend and just like he's your friend, and I did a project with him before, so it's cool to sort of be on the different angle on this one where we're looking at the strategy, like, all right, who do we need on this song? What names can we get involved in the album? And like, boom. And he's suggesting cool creative shit for the songs to you, and then you're able to like do it to something a little different for you. So I was like, I don't know, I think this is going to be really cool. It's like a different challenge for the squad, particularly after that conversation we had last week about, maybe not wanting to sort of make being a rapper our number one thing.
Yeah, because we
anymore.
we
So
we've
it's
got
cool.
lots of both you and I see have lots of experience and wear lots of different hats during an entire process of making an album, whether it's like literally start to finish. Both of us have done it on our own, yours, mine, other people's projects. We've all had turns at wearing that executive hat and all the steps in between. And it's like, it's actually, yeah, you're right. Like, we won't be like stepping away. We're just doing, it's like not even really a side step either. It's just like, we're just like stopping
Still shit working on
doing
music.
one, but there's so many other things and aspects to what it takes to make a song or an album or a body of work that's good. But yeah, it's so sick that we're still got our fucking fingers in the pie.
And we'll both obviously be rapping on it. And
Yeah.
it's like the precursor to our project, because like this started probably 2 years ago, I would say, like, and work on it intermittently, then kind of goes quiet for a bit, then work on it again. So it's like now Poe's in the recording mode. He's done a bunch of the tracks and we're just piecing it all together. So it's cool. It's like a nice way for you to be like, it's almost like it's the test run. Not that this is anything less than all of everyone's effort, but like it's the first attempt at an album that you did the whole, you produced everything and mixed and mastered it, like all things Sonic you're in charge of. And
Yeah, which is crazy because it's
very
good
cool.
because at this particular point, sorry to jump in there, but I
No.
feel like I'm actually ready to go in more of a sound way, which is funny. Um, just like the skill has gotten better and the ability to, I don't know, make the right choices within the first one or two goes is getting really good for me because I sent like a mix one over to Poe, and he's just he lost his mind with his responses, and I was just like, is he taking the piss or is he like for real? And
I think
he's
really
been in the
excited.
studio. He's really excited, but he's also been in the studio with a lot of legends and a lot of people that have good chops in the studio and behind the board. So like it's been cool to get some solid reassurance because yeah, shit happens and clients are dicks sometimes, and also shit happens just sometimes it doesn't work. But yeah, it's been really good that getting great feedback and making me feel good because like I don't know, just seems to work nicely. So
Good
I don't
shit.
know. I'm happy about that. So it just gives me more encouragement to just keep it going. I need to get my pen flexing because you and I have some collaborations, and I've got to write some more shit for the Notion Island Volume 2, which is the Eggward and Notion project that I did in 2019. Did I drop that? Dog sniff, see if easy.
I think it
I'm
might
pretty
be
sure.
2018. I think it might be 2018 because it was the same year as me and Poe did Bad Habits, hence the podcast.
Okay, sweet. So
So
yeah,
Poe is actually intertwined. I just realized, obviously, that the podcast was named after that album just because it was like a cool name and felt like a cool name for a podcast, and not that's something that we came up with together. Even though we didn't, that was just the name of a song. It was kind of lazy calling the album that, but I think it works.
I
It's
agree.
dope. It's like a nice. I know it's nice to have it to do this with like that's sort of not us necessarily directly, like as the artists. So it's like it's kind of fun to produce it for someone else, but someone who's like incredibly talented, but also really close. Regardless, it'd be cool. We should get him on the pod even sometime and just
That would be
talk about
good.
it. Just even like
Just
a
a deep
like
dive on
before
that
it even
particular
like
shit.
yeah, before it even like maybe once we're like 5 to 10
Like an in
songs in.
progress.
Yeah, like a progress report
interview.
on it. And I feel like he has interesting things to say. Poe's a real intelligent dude, man. He's like high up in like a law firm now. He's traveling all around states and like caking up. Like it's great to see. He's
Mad
Wow.
cunt. Well, fuck.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
because
Let me jump on the track.
I think
I mean, you could.
I definitely want to get you on a
I'm
hook
ready.
for our project. I'm not even joking at all. Like I would.
I
love to
am
get you on a hook.
ready. I'm fucking ready.
I feel like we could do something fun, like, but make it cool. Like not like trying to just make something funny because you talk funny, but like let's make it like let's do something dope that can leverage that sound, and make it like something that's like catchy and shit. I feel like it'd be kind of cool. I also like that side of it too. I know we talked about it before, but having you and Tiff involved in like mine and Notion's project is sick because it's bringing the squad into it in a different way, and that's why I like working on the post stuff now. Like it's cool when it's come back because we're just three of us chatting on a group chat, and I'm just working on this project that I have a different stake in. Like, because it's going to come out through TMF, but we might get a label. Who knows? Like, we'll see what happens with it because Poe is a bit more connected, so we might be able to, or we just do it ourselves through TMF. But it's cool to kind of like just work through it all together, and that's going to be the same with our project, so that we can do the same thing with you guys as well, to have you guys across it. So it's like, just every time we do a body of work, they're just like a slightly different approach. So like, it sort of makes the experience more interesting, or whatever the fuck. It's cool. Raps.
You're cool.
I know. Sorry,
I dig that, bro.
I keep like talking over everyone's stuff, but was there anything else you want to mention?
That's all right. Nah, man, fuck. Just fucking dicks out, flapping it in the wind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mate.
Music and mountain bikes. Winter's almost over. I can't fucking wait.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it's March. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, how'd that happen?
No.
February goes too quick. It's a cut. It shouldn't exist. We should just cut February right off the map, dog. Fuck
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Go straight to spring.
No, I don't think we should. I don't think we should.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
No?
I like February.
Oh yeah, because Dad's born in February. No.
Big fan.
Oh
of February.
yeah. I didn't mean like stop your birthday. We'll figure out another day for your birthday. We'll pick you.
Okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, we'll figure it out. It's fine, it's fine.
I didn't mean to offend all the cunts in February, but I meant like if you got a February birthday, sweet as. But like, figure out another day, mate. We'll just get rid of it so we get back into spring and we can have a nice time in hot weather, and then everyone's happy.
All right, go on then.
Because we're all over this.
Yeah.
I heard Tiff told me today that there's supposed to be a late spring, meaning that it's just going to continue on. Not that it's been in Ontario, it hasn't been a tough winter at all. It's been pussy hole winter, which I love. In comparison,
it's been pretty bad over here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's always bad. I would live for 10 years. It was never not bad. Yeah, man. It's well, there was a storm on. Did you have a storm on the weekend on Friday night?
Yeah, we had a storm on Friday and Thursday.
Okay, so I don't know if it was the same one, but here they were like going crazy about this storm that was coming on Friday. Like, you know, Durand, which is a cafe/beer store near here that I go to a lot, had like an event, like a ticketed event that people bought tickets to. They canceled it or postponed it to next week. And like, Matt, I was talking to another beer friend. He's like, "Oh, I hope you guys are home safe and shit." And like, everyone was like bugging about it, and it was just a bit of snow.
Oh yeah, the media.
But that's it's the same as. Do you remember Christmas Notion? And they were like, "Oh, I don't know if you guys, if we can drive, and it's gonna be so bad." And then we were just like, "Oh, it's just."
They're still trying to trip us out, bro. Relax. The media.
Why do they gas us
like that? I don't get it.
They're trying to just continually stress us out. That's why. You know how you check the weather? You look outside and up, dickhead, mate. I mean, but also, radars and shit. Things change, whatever. But like, there's a lot of stress behind the media push with the weather. I think it's really become more evident in the last, few years. And like, people are genuinely just get so scared because the weatherman said the shit's going to be fucked. Like, honestly, bro, I rode my fucking bike home on the weekend. Soft, no problems at all. Yeah. There was lightning and snowstorm, and I still rode my bike home. It was 0 degrees. It wasn't even cold, man. Like, I don't understand the big fuss. Yes, there was lots of snow. It was about like, a foot tops. You know what I mean? It's okay.
Yeah.
Cunts can still drive. It's not like it's fucking Winnipeg or, you know what I mean? It's not like it's out proper snow situation. It's fucking city times.
They didn't really do that in Quebec so much. I feel like
people were panicking. And it just feels like everyone's stressing it. It pisses me off a little bit because I'm like,
it's not over here,
bro. I ride my bike in this fucking weather, mate. Like, not that I'm trying to be a sick cunt. Like, I choose to not go TTC because it's actually a piece of dog shit, and I'm not paying for a dog shit service, and I've consistently got that. So I ride my bike. It takes me fucking 2 seconds. There's certain days I don't choose to ride. Obviously, it's icy. It's genuinely unsafe for no matter what bike you're riding or skill level, you're going to die. So we don't do those. I ride whenever it's okay. But yeah, people were like, "Oh my God, you're riding in fucking..." Yeah, it's like 0 degrees, whatever. Like, it's soft. There's lots of, but yeah, the amount of people that get scared by the weather and shit like that is just like getting a little pedantic at some points. But yeah,
you
better to be
are
safe than
right.
sorry.
No, totally. But I feel like it didn't happen in Quebec. This is my first winter living here since like for 10 years. In Quebec, I feel like they probably hyped about the weather, but then it was something really bad that happened because the fucking snowstorms there are brutal. But here,
of course,
I'm noticing that it's like totally. And I've been stuck in. I've driven in some pretty bad conditions, and it's like it's terrifying. Like it's genuinely like I'm like I don't know if we're gonna make it today type shit. Like it's
minus 40 is not a joke.
No, it's not even the minus 40 as much as the snowstorm. Like we've been stuck in snow squalls on the way to Vermont, where you can see from here to the camera in front of the car, like type of shit.
Gotcha.
Like it's and I don't know who's
Tate,
behind me or who's
Ciryl.
in front of me. I'm like, do I just keep going? What if I stop? Someone might hit me, so I got to keep going forward. But then if I have to quickly break, I'm gonna smash into someone guaranteed. So it's
Jesus
terrifying.
Christ.
But that's what I think when they say the storms here, and it's I don't say
That's what it should be.
it's not even well. It's probably good to be cautious, but I mean, it's like it's not even just
It
because
is.
I try not to pay attention to the media. Obviously, they've always been boosting things forever. It's what they do, but it's like everybody in every sort of scene, like on Twitter, they're losing their mind. I'm not even talking like it's not
Even
even
intelligent people get
that's what I'm
tricked
saying.
by it.
You can't even like tell like it's not like a certain type of person trips out over it. It's like it's just
That's
really
right.
weird, and you don't know what to do. So like you just like I don't know. Everyone seems to be bugging out over this storm. I'm looking at it. It says 100% chance of snow, and all these warnings on the Weather Network app and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, probably
There's
sounds like
sprinkles.
it's gonna be bad. And then yeah, it's like, are you fucking serious? This is it? Like a little bit of wind and some like pussy hole snow. Like the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's
super
crazy. Like just confusing.
Yeah, it's
But
I don't fuck with that. I'm sorry. Why do we even talk about that? I think you just mentioned maybe the.
weather and shit. I don't know. Not too sure.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Weather.
Weather.
You know weather.
We used to always do the weather at the beginning, like old people.
Tangents,
people
bro.
pod.
That's what we do out here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boys. UFC. It went down last evening. There was 2 big events last night. UFC 285. I watched the other event, the Chris Rock event, and then it happened to be the 2 main events were still available, still happening. So I got to watch them bad boys live. So you guys know more about it. I was just like watching the Punchy Fighty sports. So tell us about the vibes.
UFC 285, the greatest fight of all time, has actually come back. The greatest fighter of all time. As crazy as he is inevitable, and he is a real life supervillain, and you can't stop him. I don't think there's anyone in real life without a literal gun who could actually beat up this man. I don't think anyone could ever actually beat him up. Hand-to-hand combat, he'll kill anyone. He is insane. And what's crazy as well, he's not a nice person. So he's literally a supervillain.
Why isn't he
you can't
nice?
believe it.
What did he do to make you say
I've got a list of all the things he's done. So basically,
that's
he's
convenient.
never lost. He's never lost in the UFC ever.
that? Okay.
And he has 1 loss on his record for disqualification. And he's won every single title match he's been in. And the only reason he's been stripped of the belt is because of crime, and crimes that are outside of the UFC. So he's had to do jail time or whatever, and then he gets stripped of the belt. So it all stems from 2014. So 2014 December, tested positive for cocaine. 2015, felony hit and run charge. 2016, suspended for failed drug test. 2018, revoked license, upheld after failed drug test. 2020, arrested for alleged aggravated DWI and negligent use of a firearm. And
Wow.
I think 2022, this might have been, it says charged with a misdemeanor battery, domestic violence, and injuring or tampering with a vehicle.
Okay. So man's been
And
out here.
he is absolutely
been busy.
insane. He is absolutely he's crazy. He's crazy. So and yeah, you can't beat him. You can't beat him. And,
When did he fight last?
3 years ago, 2020.
Okay.
And he beat somebody called, I don't know if this was the most recent one, but he had a big feud with Daniel Cormier,
Okay.
who is now like a commentator on UFC. And it was like this proper like good guy, bad guy sort of thing. And essentially they had like multiple fights, and Jon Jones won every single time. And it was to a point where Daniel Cormier was crying in the ring after he lost the final one. And it was insane. Like, he is just so good at what he does. And yeah, he's crazy. Like, and he won his fight against Ciryl Gane. It was the first time he fought in 3 years, and the first time he's ever fought in the heavyweight division. So he moved up a weight, fought the best in that weight category, and still won. He won
1
within
minute.
in 1 minute. In
That's
1
wild.
minute. Like,
In the first round.
in the first round.
It was so disappointing.
It
I'm
was
ready to
just
see a
like,
good one, and like, nope.
he absolutely just made him. He just choked the fuck out of him. It was insane, and like
Oh.
you could see there was like a golfing class completely like He didn't hit him other than accidentally fucking kicking him in the balls. That's literally
Yeah.
it. He didn't get hit. And like when they did the slow mo of how he like grappled him and shit, though he just dodged the punch and just literally just went straight and just grappled him, and it was so easy. Like he made it look so easy. It was like he knew he was gonna win every single time. Like it was like there was no idea of him possibly losing. It was so funny. And like there was this tweet from Rudy Gilbert, the basketball player. He says, "Two of my favorite fighters of all time. Let's go." But I've got Ciryl. I got Ciryl. I think he'll win. And that was tweeted at 12:48, and at 12:53 he just tweeted, "Damn," and that's it. It's just so easy.
The movie got him in was just like a headlock, like you said. So is that a standard jiu-jitsu thing? Like it's a pretty, it's like almost impossible to get out of a guy that strong.
It's a wrestling thing, I think, and it's just like
Wrestling thing.
if he's under your chin, then you're fucked. Essentially, I think that's with every fighter though. You have to be technically better than the other person to make sure they're not under your chin, and you have to make sure you do everything to make sure they're not under your chin, because if they are, they'll get choked out regardless of who the person is.
Gotcha.
And some fighters are crazy. They'd rather you make them pass out than you tap. And I think Ciryl Gane was like, "Fuck this! I'm literally not going to be able to get out," so he just tapped. Like, it's insane. Like I've never seen a fighter that good before. Like Jon Jones he's so good. Like he's the GOAT.
Is that a widely agreed upon sentence?
Yeah, if you can separate the fact, I think a lot of people will just do the thing where it's like, "Oh, he's a bad person. He can't be my GOAT." It's like, it doesn't matter, because if we're speaking factually, there is no person on earth who could beat up this man. Like, legit. Like, there is no person. So, it's like, he's the GOAT. Everyone knows he's the GOAT.
Okay. No, should you have any thoughts? Because I know you were into all this sportsy punchy thing.
Man, the punchy sports occasionally are good.
I
mean,
I like it, actually.
I'm an old school fan. Like I've seen, whatever. Lots of them. This one was great. I fell asleep during the co-main event, so I unfortunately didn't see it. And everything you're telling me, I have no idea. So I'm gonna go watch it again and see what happens. So
if you got a spare minute and a half, you could probably watch it while you're on the podcast.
I'm gonna say I'll have to, yeah. I fell asleep during the birds smashing. So that was
That was a good one.
That was a good one, and I fell asleep like literally at the end. So I don't know, old man shit. Yeah, my bad on that one. It's just kind of like just snoozing and a losing.
Okay, well, at least it's an easy one. It's not the end of the world at all. I was going to watch it later if I didn't catch it live, because I actually knew, because I listen to Rogan a lot, I knew the girl, the Victoria, what's her last name?
Valentina. Shevchenko.
Okay, so I'd heard them talk about that, because almost every conversation ends up about UFC, so I hear a lot about it, but I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I knew who Ciryl Gane was because of the podcast.
Because of Joey. That makes sense.
But I knew who Jon Jones was, but I didn't know a lot about him. But I knew he'd done some crazy shit and he was good, but I didn't realize he was like LeBron, MJ, Jay-Z.
Yeah, no, he is LeBron. He's just like an unhinged LeBron. Like, he's
if LeBron was a criminal. Okay, gotcha.
If LeBron was a criminal, this would be him.
And he punched on with like cunts,
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. I respect that. Okay. So that was the main event. The co-main event was the Victoria. Sorry, I'm so sorry. What was it? Valentina
Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso.
And Alexa won. And she fucking. It was crazy, because I knew that that's all I knew was that they talked about the Valentina chick. So I was like, all right, well, she's probably going to win.
And she's amazing. She's incredible.
Looks terrifying.
And she looks terrifying. Yeah, I couldn't believe that she lost.
The women's stuff is good, bro. What I did, I guess it's
so
a little less action, maybe, because of being a more strategic or something. Like, these girls weren't punching a ton. Okay, it depends.
It just depends on the fighters. It's literally literally the equivalent to the male division. It's so good. Like, these fighters are unreal. Like, yeah, like Valentina Shevchenko, I cannot believe she lost. She's a monster. Like, she's an actual monster.
Did you see what she said at the end, like when Joe interviewed her?
I saw the interview. She seemed pretty humble. She just wanted a rematch immediately. I saw that.
It was like this cool confidence where it was like, yeah, that was really weird that I lost that. Like, I definitely want to have another go at that, and I know I'll beat her on the next time, but good for her. It was just really like just no emotion and just straight Russian ass fucking like to the point shit. And I don't know, something about that was like kind of dope. I like that. And then she did one thing where she accidentally hit her after the ref stopped them or something happened. And then when she did it, but when she did it, she like covered her mouth and she's like, "Oh no!" Like, so I was like, "All right." She knew she fucked up. It was a
fighter's instinctual reaction, but then she was like, "Oh fuck, that was after the ting." So sometimes they can't, stop themselves once they're in the middle of this action because it's like body muscle memory. What do you call it? Yeah, muscle memory.
And you know you're in danger, so you're doing what it takes to shut down the danger. It's kind of like a instinct, I guess. But it was like I don't like violence for the sake of it. What I like about UFC, what got me over the hurdle after getting used to seeing people essentially bare knuckle fucking tearing each other apart, was the sportsmanship and then hearing like essentially just the Rogan podcast and how deep they go with every fucking just hearing how passionate everyone is, and then they talk a bit, just lots of context that if you just watch the fights you wouldn't know, but just about the people, how hard they work, and how blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, I never would have thought to describe that as that, or just understanding the nuances. I only really know music for the most part in that way, so it's cool to hear them talk about comedy or UFC in this way that we know music. We know the people who are shady cunts, and we know the people who worked really hard, and people who have good teams, people who are kind of whack but got up there because they have a good team, so they're able to push it, or they're blah, blah, we know the inside and outside how publishing works, and like, oh, that could probably make that guy that much money. Oh, that brand deal's pretty dope. It's interesting that all of that shit. But they talk about that for comedy, which is very similar, how you get on type of shit. And then with UFC, not from a perspective of a fighter and trying to make it to the UFC, but just sort of the details about, like, these deep details about all this history of the fights and feuds that cunts have and blah, blah, blah. It's for a complete, like, someone who isn't particularly, like, interested in it, it's fascinating. It's really
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's crazy. But some fighters don't have sportsmanship. Like, Jon Jones, people are saying, like, this is all fake. Like, what you saw from Jon Jones this time, like, you don't see any controversial stuff because he's just putting up an act. Like, he's not a good guy. He doesn't have sportsmanship.
Right.
He said to Daniel Cormier, like, they actually hated each other. Like, they actually hated each other to a point where they were, like, doing these, like, one-to-one interviews. And, like, he was acting like a nice guy on camera. And as soon as the camera off, as soon as they stopped, like, recording... No, what happened was they were off air, but they were still recording. And essentially they were like, oh, the UFC, someone said to him, was like, oh, we need to still record one more thing. Are you okay with that? And Jon Jones said, okay. Daniel Cormier must have not heard it. And then Jon Jones just turns around to him and says, pussy, are you there? Hey, pussy, are you there? And Daniel Cormier is like, oh my God, it's so funny how hilariously fake you are and how you're nice on camera, but then when it's off camera, you're just like this. And like, he was getting rattled because he actually hates Jon Jones. And like, to a point where he said something like, if I could come over to where you are right now, I would spit in your face. I fucking hate you. And Jon Jones turned around to him. He turned around to the camera and was like, I'm serious right now. If you'd done that to me, if you spat my face, I will kill you. Like, and he literally said this. He goes, I will not fight. I won't fight you. I'm not talking about fighting. I'm saying I will literally kill you. I'll murder you. Like, I'm serious. I will actually kill you. Like, sincerely, not joking, not laughing. He turned around to the camera and said, seriously, I will actually murder you. Like,
is this on video?
This is on video. I'll show you a video. He's fucking, he's crazy.
I wholeheartedly agree with that sentence. If someone ever spat on me, I would 100% kill them until they start breathing in front of my face. That was no questions asked. You spit in a cunt's face. Prepare for the worst, mate. Like, that's the worst. It's the biggest disrespect.
I think
it's fair. It's bad. It's definitely bad.
Psycho retaliation shit, but also it's the biggest form of disrespect. And man's like me.
Someone spat at me, it would be a problem, and I avoid. I think all three of us avoid violence. It's like at all costs. Like, if it's only if we were really forced into it, that was the only time we had to do it. I'm not interested in that. That's kind of why I like the idea. Like, I CBF, but I kind of like the idea of BJJ because it can shut, as opposed to any other martial art, because it can shut. I've done it before and I didn't quite enjoy it, and I was like, I've talked about it on here, but like,
offensive.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't want to roll with other dudes on the floor. Yeah, it's just, and you have to be careful of staph infections and shit. Joe's talking about that. You have to use special deodorant because you're rolling up close with dudes so much. I'm like, I'm not super interested in that, but I do like the idea of being able to, instead of like kickboxing where I could like knock a dude out, but probably break my hand in the process or something like that. Wouldn't it be better to diffuse it as opposed to like knock him out? What if I knock somebody out and then they hit their head on the ground and die? Then I'm a fucking manslaughter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be in a street fight because you never know what could happen, or that could happen to me, where someone could just hit me. I don't fucking fight. I don't know that shit. I'm too drippy to fight, my guy. Like, you know, I'm not out here just fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't about that life.
Man, just should be out here like just being friends and thing. You know
Yeah, I'm a lover, my man. I think all three of us are lovers. We ain't fighters. Like, if we have to, Mads get down, but Mads do not want to get down. So anyway, the point being, I think it's like cool that I like BJJ as a discipline as opposed to that's what I was saying. And I also kind of think it's cool that like maybe it's getting more people interested in it. I feel like I know more and more people who do BJJ, and I think like I did karate as a kid. I think it's actually really dope for people's like listening to Joe talk about it again and then watching it. And then last night I'm like, oh fuck, maybe I should do something like Muay Thai or something, or like that, or something. I've tried both. Yeah, it's fun, huh? Muay Thai's the best, better than boxing, because it's like
100%.
I don't want to fight cunts, but I want to learn the techniques better.
I want to kick and punch the shit out of you if I have to.
Yeah,
if I have to fucking kick your ass, I'm gonna do it with all of my limbs.
Yeah,
really good.
Not just two of them, like all of them.
All of them.
Fucking amazing. Punchy Fighty Sports. All right, we talked about that a bunch. So the other thing that went down last night, which is the other probably biggest drama and shit that I've seen on. Are you right there, mate?
Yep. Punchy Fighter Sports could be the episode name, and also that's the clip.
Okay, perfect. And remind me at the end. And with the first time that Netflix have ever done a live event, and it was for Chris Rock's new special called Selective Outrage. I watched it live, and there was a pre-show and post-show. The pre-show was pretty cool because Ronnie Cheng, he lived in Australia for a while. He's Malaysian, but lived in Australia, so I fuck with him. I seen him in New York, and I was in the front row, and he asked me, he did the thing, like, where you from, man? And I was like, Melbourne. Like, where you from? He's like, oh, he riffed off, and at the end, he tapped me on the shoulder. He was like, hey, man, thanks for that. Like, thanks for being a good sport type of thing. Because I was nice. Like, he didn't make fun of me, but if he did, I would have clown me. I'm in a comedy show, motherfucker. Like, don't get mad at that shit.
What you signed up for.
Yeah, and I didn't choose to sit in the front row, though, so I didn't want to. I was like, fuck, here we go. But
that's definitely not what you want, is it? Like,
I want to be conspicuous, my guy.
Most people
inconspicuous.
Yeah,
no. When I was late to a comedy show in New York as well, I was late, and 100%. We also sat in the front, right in the front.
What did he say? Or he or she say?
No one said anything. Like, luckily, it wasn't us that got picked on. So
okay, yeah.
So it wasn't too bad.
It's always a bit rough, but I'm very soft spot for Ronnie Cheng just because he was mad cool, and I like that he's doing really well, and he lives in Melbourne specifically. So he hosted. They had a whole bunch of. They did like little people doing like, hey Chris, go, like Adam Sandler and like all these people like sent in little like videos of themselves, and they played all that shit, and JB Smoove and fucking Arsenio Hall, just whatever, a bunch of people. So they put money into this shit. They got names and like got people who knew Chris Rock for forever, Leslie Jones and stuff, and they did this pre-show thing. Then they went to, and that was in the Comedy Store in LA, and then they went to the show, which was in Baltimore, and then they came back there at the end for like a post-show with Dana Carvey and what's the other cunt? Another guy who was on SNL. Fuck, who was it? I'm having a blank, but there was another. I'll say it'll come to me. But yeah, they did they interviewed a few people. That seemed a little pointless. Like, I don't know, they sort of broke it down, like they do. I think there was a show called for The Walking Dead. There was like a post show. I forgot the name of it, but they would like dissect the episode. So like it's the same type of shit. They finished it and dissected the special.
Oh, okay. I've seen shows that do that. Yeah.
Not super into it. I mean, it's sometimes.
I usually just skip it. They do it for the last 2 seasons of Rick and Morty. They started doing that, and I'm just like, interesting. Yeah, they dissect the episode after with all the different people who collaborated and everything. I'm just like, it's cool. But I'm just like, don't care enough. I'm just like, I don't really care enough. So.
I think that's completely fair. Like, you have to love that fucking.
You have to
thing
love
to do
it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not even like about loving the show. You have to love I don't even know, like film, I guess, or be interested in, I don't know,
Like
the
the
editing
details of it
process and
all.
shit, the details. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I just want to watch it,
Exactly, just enjoy this shit. So
That's
the
it.
special, so this is interesting, right? So the special, I like Chris Rock. I've liked him forever since whatever, I guess since CB4.
Yep.
And he was so okay. This is I'm trying to how to explain it. There was a lot of negative talk about the special on Twitter, and I was surprised by that. And I had, he hadn't been pretty, what's the word, prolific. I don't know when his last special was, but I don't recall it being particularly good. I feel like anytime I saw him, I remember feeling disappointed for the last little bit. And then I'd heard people on Rogan talk about how dope he is. That multiple people had mentioned it over many episodes about how great his stuff is and how like he's just in his best form of all time. So I'm hearing that in my head. I kind of forgot that in the past he wasn't. So I had kind of higher expectations, and it kind of almost seems that like maybe people, because he'd been away, maybe there's like a mystique around him now because of the Will Smith
Nostalgia
thing.
almost.
Nostalgia, and they remember the earlier great stuff, and then obviously now he's the guy who hasn't said anything for a year after he got hit, and then then being disappointed by the special because they kind of forget that maybe he's sort of mid or whatever. That's what Tiff kind of was saying, that he's always been like this. She goes, he's a mix between like Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart, if that puts it into context. Because Kevin Hart stuff, I don't know if you guys have ever seen him live, but it's like,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, or seen his specials. Like I've seen him a bunch of times. Okay, yeah, I've seen him in the arenas like twice. He always used to go to Montreal, and we used to go to Just for Laughs a lot. There, it was actually one of the best things about Montreal summers. That's why I sucked the last few years, and you missed it all, Dan. It was fucking sick. I mean, you
I
can
went to one Just for Laughs, but that was a while ago.
Yes, we went one after we filmed not Holding Hands, Young and Crazy video.
Yeah, something like that.
And we went and saw one of the galas, I think, with like Michael Che, and like, yeah, that was fun. That was really cool.
Oh wow.
Yes, exactly. Really good. I met my friend Matt O'Brien, who was on the podcast.
Yes, that's true.
It was back in the day on BOS podcast. Sorry, run multiple podcasts. JFL is fire. So I've seen a lot of comedy shows. So like I forgot that that's what his vibe was, and I don't know if you guys watched it. Did either of you guys watch it, the whole thing at all?
I haven't yet.
No.
I watched. I'm at 40 minutes or 41 minutes, so I had to pause it to start recording this. So
okay.
So I didn't get to the end, but I'll watch it shortly.
Do you want me to spoil anything?
Whatever.
Yeah, you say whatever.
Okay.
But I thought it was okay, but
Tell me your immediate thoughts, because when you said that on text, I wanted to hear more about that.
Okay, so it's cool. It's great to see him. He looks good. From the person that announces him to the music that was chosen, like I know it was a Rick Ross beat. That was the intro music, but from the person that's announcing, like Chris Rock, like they had like some sort of stutter going on, like the energy from the announcer, from the music, the beat was skipping, the DJ must have fucked up,
Oh wow,
or something like that. There was, and then the way that Chris comes out, like everything about the energy of the start of the show just didn't seem like fluid, didn't seem natural, didn't seem normal. And then he comes out, I felt like Chris started off with a bit of a stutter of some kind, like as
he
in
didn't come out strong. Pause.
No, he didn't come out strong, pause. Yeah, and it's like you need to come out like that, And it kind of felt seriously mid, and I don't know, just didn't make me laugh that much. There's a couple of points where I was like, okay, sweet, now he's getting into the gear of things, but it just didn't feel as natural as normal. Like, I never rated him like 99% amazing, fucking Jay-Z level of the comedy, but like he's always a favorite. But like, I think my favorite format of Chris Rock is in a movie. So I've never been so expectant of him to be super fire at the stand-up game, even though he's got some absolute bangers, and there's a lot of things and snippets that have come from his stand-ups that have been some of the greatest snippets and the greatest gags in the top 50s of or whatever you want.
I know what you mean.
Some
like
of the you know what I mean? Like
genuine classics.
Super notable classic shit. So he's a top tier cunt. No argument. But yeah, the stand-up format is probably my least preferred out of how he rolls, because he's got lots of things that he does. But yeah, so far it's okay. I'm not loving it. I've had a couple of giggles, but I just need to wait for the big bang at the end. So the last I guess 20 or 20 something minutes to go. It should be pretty good. So,
Okay.
but you
That
can
was
get
very interesting. Yeah, no,
So,
thank you. That was like, this is what I wanted to hear. Cause like I found myself so surprised, and I mentioned it to Tiff. I was so surprised. And she was like, yeah, everyone knows Chris Rock is kind of like Kevin Hart meets Dave Chappelle. Like he has some great, really thoughtful stuff. Then he has some like pop stuff, I guess you'd call it. That's kind of like sometimes kind of cringe or corny or whatever the fuck. So people got mad at him, I saw, for the woke stuff. He started off shitting on woke people, which to me, I enjoy hearing that stuff. Yeah, I think it's funny because these motherfuckers don't laugh at themselves enough. Because they're ridiculous. They're crazy. Both sides are crazy, but they're particularly crazy. So like he's making fun of it, and then they all got mad about it, and I felt like, okay, so that's just going to piss off that crowd, but they're pretty active and pretty vocal. I don't know if they're a minority or not, but they're a vocal bunch, so everyone's mad about that. And then I wasn't dying either, but also I was pretty high and pretty drunk, so I kind of want to watch it again. I get
best
lit
kind
Saturday nights. Oh yeah,
when you watch, Saturday night's ready to go.
Saturday night's the main night where I just like I had my plan, the beers out. Like I had like 6 beers last night. It was glorious, and I started.
Well, that's a
early
lot.
enough.
Nicely
No,
done. Well, it's not a lot, but like it's not really. It's not really, but like
when you talk about
it's
craft
well
beers,
done.
like they're all pretty higher ABV and stuff. Anyway, I get lit.
well
For
done.
me, that's a lot for me. By the way, I would normally.
I love that.
6 is pretty extreme. I would probably do 3 to 4.
That's my max as well.
6 is if I'm getting lekker. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. You know.
Let's go.
Let's go. So the fucking, what was the point? Yeah, so I was pretty lit. So I kind of almost feel like, I don't know if I was biased or something and just sort of more inclined to have a good time. So I just felt good about it, and I enjoyed the format that it was live. I thought that was really fun, and they were smart because I was like, I would have paid for this, and it was free. It's just part of Netflix, which is genius. I bet a lot of people probably would have felt the same, but
Well, it's the first live event, you said, right? So that's he's cemented in history right there. That's some value.
Correct.
That's
yes.
a big bragging point, isn't it?
It is, and it's not like it's, like Louis did one a couple weeks ago that we paid for, where he did live from Madison Square Garden. So, if Louis is able to do it independently, and then Netflix did it, like Netflix had multiple locations, so theirs was probably a little more fancier than Louis. The person in Louis, they just streamed, they had cameras in the arena, streamed it. I don't recall if there was other footage tacked on, maybe an intro or something.
Right.
But that was it. And you saw the 2 openers, and one of them was amazing. This chick, Adrienne Palucci, she was phenomenal. Like, we followed her and talked to her on Instagram because she was that good, opening for Louis. So,
Nice.
Anyway, it had been done before, but it was a big historic thing for Netflix. So it's pretty big, and it was cool that if you're already paying for a subscription, you didn't have to do pay-per-view as well, even though I would have happily paid $20 maybe for that. Happy I didn't have to, of course, but I would have to support the art. I just think it's dope. I always try and support things like that. I always paid for all Louis stuff because I fuck with him, and I just think it's sick that he's figured this model out. And then Schultz, I got Schultz's one, Infamous. That was like $15, I think, because I want to support him and I enjoy his content. And I think it's important to always have something to sell to cunts, because if you're giving this much free stuff, eventually, they're going to want to give back if you're impacting enough people. So, it's an interesting little thing about psychology with content creators. It's kind of cool.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So I know I feel like we're yammering a lot, and we've still got a bunch of things to cover through. We've got about like 10-15 minutes left on this one, so I want to make sure we get through everything. But the key part of the Chris Rock thing was he finally talked about the slap, the whole Will Smith situation, for maybe the last 10 minutes or so. So I liked it. I was just happy to hear him openly discuss it for once and hear what he had to say. People were saying that he never said Jada's name, never mentioned her by name, but he talked about her. He called Will a bitch aggressively, like you're a bitch. They say you're a bitch. Like he went like in like he was, and you could tell that he even stumbled on a joke and got the word wrong. He was pretty flustered. He seemed by it, by even talking about it, probably because it was a big thing that was so hyped up, and maybe he was. What you said earlier about the energy was off. Maybe he knew that. He came in not so strong, pause. Everything was kind of weird beforehand. Maybe the DJ's fucking up, the announcer was weird, and everything was strange. So maybe his energy was off for the set too, potentially. Now you mentioned that. I thought that was very interesting. I feel like I want to rewatch it now with what you said in mind, knowing that like shit was off. So I wonder if the whole thing was off. But yeah, he stumbled on that one joke, and what else did he say? He was basically saying the key thing. I won't spoil it all because I actually can't remember it all. But he was saying that Jade. He goes, no one has, like, a lot of people has been cheated on, but nobody's had to sit next to the person who cheated on them and have that person go, so I suck somebody else's dick. How does that make you feel? Type of thing. And I was like, that's a good point. So he was like, Will, he could beat me up, but he took it out on me. He didn't take it out on her. He took it out on me, type of thing. And that's what he was like. Everyone knows you're a bitch because she did that to you. Everyone knows you're a bitch. Like, they know you're a bitch. I can't remember. He kept mentioning. He's like, oh yeah, Drink Champ said you're a bitch. Charlemagne said you're a bitch. Breakfast Club said, like, he kept like dropping names. Everyone shitting on him. That was pretty funny. It was. I'm not going to ruin it enough because you'll see. But and that was kind of the crux of it. And there's a few other things that he sort of said. It was interesting just to hear him talk about it. I'd like to see, like, next week, maybe we could get what you guys think specifically about those bits, the Empire, because I would be curious to see what you boys think of it. But overall, I thought it was cool. I don't know, I kind of got what I thought it was going to be. Didn't piss myself. Had a few moments that were pretty good. And it was like one of the things where you, like, put your phone down or put the drink down and, yeah, sitting on the edge of your seat. I was excited to hear what he had to say about the Will Smith thing. I love tea. Dan, I know you love tea. Nosh, not so much, but
it's like, sometimes depends on whose tea it is. Like, usually I'm impartial because I'm not a gossipy kind of cunt. It's just like, I'm out here.
I feel you. Me and Dan love it. Love it.
We love it. We love it.
Best tea.
Incredible.
I love it.
You guys are like Tetleys. You guys are like Tetleys.
That's what we go. If we do an album, me and Dan's rap name is Tetleys. Oh, let's go.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Your rap name is Tetley T. That's it.
That's literally it.
That's literally it. Tetley T.
With an emoji. In your rap
name.
name.
Oh my god.
Because it's Gen Z. Because Gen Z.
It's Gen Z, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Oh my god. And the first single's called Drip.
Oh shit!
Drip coffee? No.
Let's go. No,
Drip
because it's a tea, but it does drip because
Drips do.
It works. It
I
works.
feel like it could work.
How is it called? Oh no, the first single's called Steep.
Ooh, I like
How
that.
deep can you,
And I feel
how
like
deep
it's-
can you
and it's
steep?
all drill.
Ooh.
All he does is drill.
Drill
Like
the-
really
oh.
aggressive, violent drill.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we'll keep going.
My next
So-
project coming out in, I guess
Yeah,
next
Notion.
year.
Oh, Notion and Dan. I love it. So
I'm
okay,
ready.
so that is that. So we've got a whole bunch of, like, maybe smaller things. There was a question. I don't know. I might even keep this for next time. Actually, some of the bigger, deeper questions.
Do it.
What more stuff do we want to go through then to finish off? I'll give you some choices. We can discuss. This will probably be fun. We can discuss: is Drake rap's last superstar? If you could listen to one song for the first time again, what would it be? We could talk about the De La Soul albums, Dreamville Festival, Bieber's birthday and the drama, which is interesting, and a few other things like that. Is there any of those that tickle your pickle that we want to wrap up on, type shit? Because we talked about the other stuff a lot. What's
Notion,
exciting?
go. You choose. You choose.
We should talk about. We should talk about Beeps because I know CVs
Beeps?
he wants to.
All right. We
Beeps.
can talk about Bieber. We can talk about
Hey,
Bieber.
you're welcome.
All right.
buddy.
Thanks, mate. So, well, first of all, it was Justin's 29th birthday, I think.
Yeah.
The other day.
How old is that to you, Dan? Is that really old or what?
That's old as fuck.
That's old,
Jesus.
isn't it, bro? Dang.
That is like
Fuck, Bieber's
disgusting.
ancient.
He's
a
fucking old
fucking-
as fuck.
Grandpa.
Yeah, it's
Ugh,
disgusting.
imagine like all the old people.
Is
listening
that
to
the
Justin
age where
Bieber.
you need like a walking frame? You think?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Or it's like
think it is.
it's like probably the age where you like start planning your funeral and stuff. You know,
Is that-
investing.
Is that what?
Wow.
Yeah, true. That's
Yeah,
smart.
Yeah, it's
That's
smart.
smart.
Smart. It's around the corner.
So fucking all right. So the drama is, I won't go deep into the drama but I'm gonna talk about something kind of more fun. So
Spill it.
So Justin's wife is Hailey Bieber, who is Hailey Baldwin,
She
who's
hot?
Stephen Baldwin's son. You don't know? She's a blondie. She's like
She
a
hot?
model.
Isn't she?
Right?
She's pretty. She's pretty.
Bro, I don't know
Isn't
nothing
she-
about nothing. I told you I don't gossip about things. I don't know the
Okay.
tea. I don't
Dan-
check out superstars' wives because
Well, it's the superstar. It's Bieber. I know what's going on with Bieber.
I
you know
guess
what
I
I'm
should
It's
Google it and
Bieber.
fucking have a fucking.
saying? Take a look.
All right.
So
Sorry.
she's a model. Her dad's an actor. You know, Stephen Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's
Alec
brother.
Baldwin, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
Alec,
wait.
Stephen's the father.
Oh.
Her dad. Alex, her
Oh.
uncle. So it's a much more inconsequential Baldwin. So she met Justin when she was like, they must both be like kind of a similar age. She must be at least mid-20s, I would guess. So she got her dad to take her backstage at a Bieber concert years ago, maybe when she was like 15 or something, and met him then. And he was dating Selena Gomez for a while, and I don't know really anything about her because it was for children. I knew the name, but I don't know what. So she's a singer, and like I think she's an actor in doing like Nickelodeon-y type shows, like Miley Cyrus, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That type of shit, like in shows, but also music. So there was always these weird. They got obsessive fan bases. There's certain people we've talked about, I think, before, like the Barbs, like Nicki Minaj's fan bases are really aggressive and like. On BTS and shit like that. They go kind of wild. So she has these really passionate fans. I forgot. They have like a name. And they never like Hailey because obviously she's with Selena's ex. So they don't fuck with that. And so there's always been some sort of strange beef, mostly online between the fan bases of either Hailey Bieber's, who are probably Justin's fans, I guess, and probably some for herself because she's friends with like the Kardashians or whatever, and then fucking Selena's fans. So those all beef, and they're always like beefing things up and trying to point out, like, see when she did this, what she was dissing Selena, like they're picking small things just to start drama because I guess they're all bored and something to talk about.
Catty.
Very catty and very childish. So then the other day, I think it was either on his birthday or something like that, her. And she was with Kendall Jenner and another girl who's Justine Skye, I think it was, another singer, who's all in the Kardashian people. Tiff watches, when we're watching the T stuff, I don't really know who they are, so Tiff always has to explain, like, who all the Mandem are, so I'm starting to get the picture. So apparently they did some sort of Instagram story or some shit, and it was focused on like, Hailey's eyebrows or something, and apparently, which I didn't really understand this part, that was a diss to Selena. So then that started all these people online to like they really just more beef has kind of flared back up again because they took a picture together recently, like last year or something. So like they thought everything was kind of chill. So the crazy part of all of that, I don't know the rest of it. I'm sure it's way deeper than that and whatever, but I don't really understand it. But what I saw is this one dude was like, apparently, so Hailey Bieber has been a fan of Selena Gomez since she was a kid. So he showed so many different examples. I think it was probably like 6, 7, something like that. Different examples of Hailey doing like basically like single white femaling Selena to the point where she probably was obsessed with her as a kid and then did everything to just become her. Like she wants to wear her skin type shit. Like she'd got her ex-man. She wore like similar dresses to what she wears. Take photos in the similar way, like replicating her poses. They had this thing where they were on it was like Conan O'Brien or something, and it was both of them, and Selena, who was on, if you look at the dates, was on first, and then Hailey would say the exact same thing later on. So like she's even copying her interviews.
It's weird, man. It's so fucking weird.
So like after seeing that, there's not many people talking about that. Did you know that, Dan?
I knew about the copying thing. I knew that Selena had her own cooking show, and now Hailey automatically has her own cooking show
and
as
introduced it the same way. Had the same shots.
Introducing the same, and it's all in their own kitchens.
And I really live here and stuff.
They've done it was so weird, bro. So
you've seen that shit. Okay, so there's one
psycho shit, bro.
Yeah, so that was the interesting part. That's very much out of scope of typical bad habit shit, but because it's gossipy, pop stuff.
That's definitely not the steez.
I reckon that's one, because it's Bieber, so he always gets a pass. But two, I wouldn't have even talked to...
he does. Because
he does. Yep. Sorry, guys. But I thought this one was cool or interesting because of that, because of the drama. That's kind of fascinating. Crazy. Like that she would copy, and they had all this proof. Like it was like 2 times coincidence, maybe 3 times. Like fashion is pretty similar. Maybe she did like her, blah blah. But when you've got like all of these other ones, particularly,
it's too much to be coincidental. It's definitely on purpose.
It makes so much sense.
It makes sense, bruv. It's weird, bruv. It's weird.
Stacks weird, isn't it? So there's that was just that. So that's the only reason we talked about that shit. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. I think we just move this to next week. The only thing probably that's more like needs right now is the De La Soul albums are all now available on streaming after they were essentially held hostage for decades by Tommy Boy. They got fucked forever, had one of the worst situations, and then last night they finally got it out. Last night, Friday midnight, they dropped everywhere, and right after, of course, Dave passed.
So
as well,
crazy,
which
man.
sucks.
Like, yeah.
And they had this crazy show, and like all these people, like Queen Latifah was there rapping, doing this shit with him, and Dave Chappelle was like hosting it, and again did the countdown. They did like New Year's Eve countdown for it to be on thing, and then had a show.
Nice.
You know, all sorts of just like legends were just there. Like Common, they did like one of my favorite joints off Stakes is High. I forgot what it's called. I'm the C to the O double M O N. I said like whatever that song is called. Fuck, what's that called? So
Sure.
it was super cool, and it was out. So that's out now. They're like, yeah, make sure you go support the guys and like fucking spin it up. And I checked it out. I want to actually listen. I haven't heard Stakes is High for ages, so I went and checked. Everything's over 1 million, and it came out on Friday. So it's only Sunday, so that's pretty cool. I thought that, like people have gone pretty hard, like streaming it. Like so that was pretty good. So that's out now, and then all the rest stuff we'll catch that next week. Fuck yeah, boys! Look at that.
Easy.
Fucking boom.
I just hope Selena Gomez is okay. You know, we'll keep tabs on that one.
I hope you're okay, mate.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
Dan will. Dan, where can everyone find you online when you're not consuming Selena Gomez content?
I Dan Johnson on Instagram, Twitter, and HGFGXMING on Instagram.
Gang.
That is me. That is me.
Notion.
Man's like me at Notion Baby on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. At Notion MTB on Instagram and YouTube. illnotestudios.com, notionbeats.com. Get a dog right inside of your cavity. Cheers.
Right. I like that. You can get me
like
it's great, huh? CWFOR on Instagram and Twitter, and CWTMF on Facebook and TikTok. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. As always, mate, if you enjoyed it, smash thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell.
Bing dong.
You saved me there. See? We planned that. So you know when all the new episodes drop. Follow us everywhere. At The Movement Fam for TMF stuff, and we post about Bad Habits, and also at Bad Habits Pod on Instagram. We're going to get back on posting the news more, but all the clips and stuff are there. So make sure you check that out. And if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, slap us a 5-star, mate, and just say someone's pretty. That's what we want to
Get
hear.
a frog up, yeah.
We'll see you sexy C words next week, mate.
Thumbnail.
Oh, shit.
Quick.
We got it. Ready? Boom. Hey, just in time. Hey. It's like we've never done this
For your
before.
fucking mind. Whoa, just for your fucking mind.
Get some sweet justice in you. Yeah.
Damn.
Ta-ta.
Month.
Ta-ta.